How many of you would love to motivate your team? How many of you would love to hear some tips on what to do? Because sometimes we feel like we're beating the dead horse. You know what I'm saying? That's not good. We don't want to drag anchors across the finish line. You know what I'm saying? We're looking for people that are motivatable. They're motivators. They're the motivated. In fact, there's going to be 4 types of people. You're going to have the unmotivated. It's like nothing you can do. They ain't going to do nothing, right? They might talk a big game, but they're going to do a whole lot of nothing. Unmotivated. Then you got the motivatable. You could motivate them, especially if you're reaching out to them proactively, you're encouraging them, you're letting them know what's going on, you're building that connection, that relationship, you're giving them some mentorship. Then you've got the motivated. Those are great people, right? They're like in your inbox, asking questions, they're following the system, they're working the business, right? I love when people are like, can you coach me? Will you mentor me? And it's like, yeah, but you have to like do the work. The 4th type of person is the best type of person. Now, they are hard to come by, which should be common sense. The better the people are, the more influence they have, the sharper they are, smarter they are, the more experience they have, the more successful they are. Of course, they're going to be harder to recruit, but it's the motivators. The motivators are the best. The ones that can motivate other people. They can motivate the motivated. They can motivate the motivatable. But again, you can't motivate the unmotivated, so just forget about those people. But are you like motivatable? Are you motivated? Or are you a motivator? Because at some point, you want to step into leadership. You want to step into that leadership role and be a motivator of your team. It's your business. It's nobody else's business. It is your business. I built a multi-million-dollar business, and I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to feel like you can't find people that are like you, that are motivated to go build a business. So I'm going to give you those 5 tips to help you get the people that are on your team, to get them going. And a lot of it has to do with simplicity. A lot of it has to do with like baby steps, right? You don't want to feed a steak to a baby. You ever heard this expression? You don't want to feed a steak to a baby. Sometimes people are a little too pushy. They sign up a new person and they like smother them with support. They're messaging them every day. Hey, who are you talking to? What can we do? They're micromanaging them. But you got to be very careful, right? You don't want to smother people with your love and your support and your guidance when they're not ready for it. They're not as excited as you are. You've been involved a little longer. You got to remember what it's like to be new. People get easily overwhelmed when they're new, confused when they're new. There's a lot of messages in the team chat. There's a lot going on in the Facebook group. There's a lot of products, whatever that is. And unfortunately, some people, they have that green personality. They feel like they need to know everything before they do anything. Some people have tried things like this before, so they got that MLM PTSD. Some people are not ready to build a team yet, but maybe they're just like, starting to market the products. And you just want to meet people where they are. So you want to find out their goals, their hot buttons, like why did they get started in the first place? And don't say, well, you need a why that makes you cry. That's not true. I didn't have a why that made me cry when I got started. I didn't have a why. I didn't have kids. I wasn't married. I didn't have big responsibilities. I just wanted to make enough money to not have to wait tables. I hated waiting tables. That was it. I just wanted to stop working double shifts on Saturdays and Sundays, right? I didn't want to have more month than money. I wanted, like I said, to fire my boss. I wanted to retire myself. I wanted to be donezo, having to be an employee. I am unemployable. So I wanted to get out of that rat race. I didn't want to go to college and get a degree and get a piece of paper that says I'm smart, please hire me. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted freedom. I wanted lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was looking for. So guess what? I had to learn how to motivate other people. So these tips are really going to help you, but you first need to motivate yourself. So tip number 1, you got to lead by example. You got to lead by example, baby. Like, listen, I'm not perfect. I don't pretend to be perfect. I'm still working on me. One thing after 17 years of marriage that I've realized, we're always working on me, aren't we, Nadya?
That's it, baby. You got it.
We're always working on me. But the point is, you got to lead by example. You got to lead by example. You want your people listening to personal development? You got to be listening to personal development. You want your people on the Saturday team call? You got to be listening to the Saturday team call. You want your team to build customer base? Like the teams within my organization. Now we do millions and millions of dollars a month. We do millions a week, depending on the week. So I'm just telling you, we built a pretty solid freaking team. We got one of the top 50 teams in the entire network marketing profession. It's crazy what these people are producing. And I can tell you, I will be honest, I'm not the best customer getter, but I still got like 40 customers this month that have ordered. Over 6,000 in personal sales. That's the most I've ever done. I never did sales like that in any other company. But I have people on my team, they'll do that in a day. They'll do that in a week. So you want to lead by example. Now, I will tell you, I've out-recruited my entire team this year. Nobody's recruited more people than I have this year. In fact, I don't know if anybody's recruited more people in the last 6 years, 7 years that I've been with my company almost. I'm always leading by example. If I want my team to recruit, I'm recruiting. If I want my team to be, out there leading by example, posting content, doing reels, doing live videos like I am right now, then I got to lead by example. I got to do the things I want my team to do. Does that make sense? I'm launching new teams. I'm in the trenches. I respond to group chats. I'm in the team chats. Like I'm doing the things I want my team to do. There's nothing more important. Out of the 5 tips I'm going to give you, that is number 1. People will model the behavior they see. Not what they hear, but what they see. So when they see you showing up, there's more likelihood that they're going to show up. So if you have people on your team that are motivated, go build some new teams. Go lead by example. Unfortunately, a lot of us get into management mode. We got a team of like 10 people and we're like, this is my 10, man. I'm just going to pump these 10 up and work with these 10. You're wanting it more for them than they want it for themselves. Does that make sense? Like that's a major dilemma. If I want it more for them than they want it for themselves, like I message them more than they message me, that's a problem. Those aren't the people. Now, that doesn't mean I won't work with them. It's just I need to go find new people. So if you want to motivate your existing team, go build some new teams. Never get complacent. Never, ever, ever. Number 2, recognize what you want repeated. You want to publicly recognize people. I'm always recognizing people every day in my team Facebook group, my team ATM group, in team chats, recognizing the people that are doing what other people should be doing. If I see someone doing an unboxing video, especially if it's their first one, I'll try to promote that to other members of the team. If someone's doing their first launch video, if someone's doing their first spoon post, if someone's doing their first ATM, if I see someone ATMing their face off, I'm going to recognize those people. If someone's building a big customer base or they had a reel that went viral or they're crushing it on TikTok or Instagram stories, like I obviously can't recognize everyone, but I try my best to recognize at least 1 or 2 people every single day. Recognize what you want repeated because think about it. Number 1, the person getting the recognition feels good. They're like, ooh, I want to do more of that so I can get more recognition. But the other thing is the people that aren't getting recognition are going to go, wait a second, what is Sarah doing? What is Todd doing? Maybe I should do that too. Like, yeah, you probably should. Because here's the only challenge. I've been doing this over 20 years. If you've been in the profession or in your company for a while and you're a top earner, the problem is you're unrelatable. You want to be very careful to not just recognize the big success stories. Now listen, like I had Joan Robinson, she hit Elite 2, which is like one of the top ranks in our company in like her first month and a half. Like her team blew it out of the water. Just freaking rock star. She's a rock star. Her team's a rock star team. Like she's amazing. I recognized her for doing something that was incredible. I recognized, her and her team for what they accomplished, but I was also very clear that she came over from another company. Like she brought influence and credibility and her team, her best people came with her. Like you have to be, you want to recognize the big producers, but you have to be very clear that that's not normal because you don't want to discourage people that are struggling just to get a couple customers. So you got to be careful. You want to have a good balance, a good healthy balance of recognizing recruiters, recognizing top sellers, recognizing leaders because they deserve it. But you also want to recognize that person that got their first customer. You recognize that person that hit their first rank. Or maybe someone that's been around a while and they struggled and they almost quit, but they just recruited their first person. Why? Because that's more relatable. Joan's story, my story, I made a lot of money right out of the gate. I recruited 38 people right out of the gate. Justin Weeks, another stud, recruited 61 people his first month. That's not common. But I let people know, look, he was at the same company for 7 years. He was a top earner. And he walked away to start all over. And because of his credibility and his influence, people are like, I want to work with that guy. I don't care where he's going. I want to go with him. So there's nothing wrong with recognizing the big producers, the top earners, right? And you might say, well, John, I don't have people like that on my team. Yeah, but there's other top earners in the company, in your upline, your sideline. It's good to recognize the fast success stories. But if that is what you predominantly recognize, it can become very discouraging. Because the truth is, most people, and I don't care what company it is, I don't care what the product is, I don't care how good the system is. I think we have the best system on the planet. And still there's people that struggle. And still there's people that have a slow start. And I never make anybody feel bad for starting slow. They feel bad. It's so funny how many times people are like, I'm off to a slow start. I've just been so busy. I'm overwhelmed. I'm this, I'm that. I'm like, dude, it's all good. It's all good in the hood. Why? Because that's common. Most people don't start off strong. Now, of course, again, you want to identify those people. You're looking for the motivatable. You're looking for the motivated. You're looking for the motivators. You're looking for the people that just, they want to run. They want to build. But at the same time, you have to be okay with the fact that like most people are going to be part-time spare time. Most people are going to fit into that 80% category, right? Part-time spare time. They just want to make some extra money. They're not that serious, not that committed. Now, again, you don't give up on them, but you're going to focus on identifying people like you. A lot of us, we're weirdos. We're freaks. We actually have big dreams, big goals. We actually believe in positivity and abundance and freedom. We believe in residual income. Number 3, run small, like contests and challenges. If you have contests and challenges all the time, like last month, we had like a 5-day ATM challenge. It can be small prizes. The other day, I challenged my team. I said the first 3 people to hit team leader for the first time, I'll do a coaching call. It doesn't always have to cost money. A lot of my teams are doing like water challenges and they'll do like reel challenges and TikTok challenges. And they'll do like different things to not just encourage production. Obviously, you can have production-based challenges and contests, but it's good to also include activity-based, meaning like they're doing stuff that might not produce results, but at least they're learning the right behaviors and activities, right? They're learning how to do reels. They're learning how to do live videos. They're learning how to do group chats. You're getting them to focus on the main thing. You want to keep the main thing, right? Keep the main thing. Like I see these people get so caught up in complicated strategies. They're caught up in, they want to learn ClickFunnels and they want to learn how to build an email list and brand themselves and buy these expensive courses and do Facebook ads. That stuff is not for the new person, the part-time person, but they're trying to avoid the real work. And what's the real work? Talking to people, talking to warm market, talking to strangers, generating leads through your marketing efforts. Like they're looking for automation and they're looking for like more systematic marketing or whatever. But that stuff is advanced. It's complicated. It's expensive. And it's not what it seems. Like the easiest thing in the world is just to get into people's inboxes. Hey, Sarah, how you doing? Wait for them to respond. Wait for Sarah to respond. Oh, I'm doing good, John. How are you? Oh, I'm doing super duper fantastic, super busy. Your name popped in my head, or I saw one of your posts, or I was, watching your stories. Looks like you're doing well. Hey, listen, I would love to run something by you. I'm doing something new, something exciting. I'm really pumped about it because fill in the blank, tell them why. I'm trying to fire my boss, retire my spouse. I'm trying to pay off my loans, my debts. I'm trying to, whatever it is, fill in the blank. So I found something amazing. I found something incredible. I'm excited about it. I'd love to share it with you if you're open. If not, no big deal. Doing that 5 times a day is not that difficult. Why do you make it so complicated? Why do you make it so complicated, right? But I also understand it. That's why I'm speaking to you right now, because I understand it's a little bit awkward. It's uncomfortable. But you know what? This is what it takes to be successful. You can't just sit back twiddling your thumbs, waiting people to raise their hand and say, what's the company? What's the product? What is it? Tell me more. And even if that does happen, you still don't want to just rely on that. Listen, I will tell you, there's nothing better than attraction marketing. I'm a big fan. You could do a challenge around attraction marketing. You could do a challenge around content creation. You could do a challenge around a lot of different things. And the prize doesn't matter. It's more about the recognition and the camaraderie and the bursts, those short bursts of excitement around something. This is the time to double down on activity. This is the time to double down in your relationship building. This is the time to double down on personal development, all the different things. Number 4. Taprooting. Every dud knows a stud. There are people on your team that are unmotivated, that are not going to do a whole lot, but you want to keep them in long enough to lead you to somebody that will. You're looking for fishermen like you. Most of the people on your team are fishing poles. They're not the ones, but they could lead you to the one. They could lead you to customers. They could lead you to amazing people. So you got to be the fisherman. You got to say, listen, who do you know? Who can we talk to? Who do you know that's business minded? Who do you know that's positive? Who do you know that's amazing? Who do you know that's got influence? Who do you know that knows more people than you, that lives in a different city, state, or country than you? Who do you know that's entrepreneurial? Who do you know that loves residual income or would be open to other streams of income? You should never take rejection personal. If someone says no, great. It's just no, not now. No, not yet. You planted the seed, and your content, your relationship building, all the things you're nurturing those relationships, you're showing up with value. That's watering the seeds that you planted. So you plant all these seeds and then you water those seeds with the relationship, establishing and maintaining that relationship, staying in touch with them, content, value, storytelling, all the things. Keep digging in your teams. If you say, listen, I don't have any studs in this line, well, you better find some studs. You better taproot before it dies off. That's just the truth. I'm just giving you the truth. Most people don't have long-term vision. Most people don't have the discipline and the independence to show up every day. They just don't. They don't have it. They're not you. But you might find another you through their network. So keep digging. Number 5, you got to simplify your system. This is probably as important, if not more important than leading by example, but it kind of depends on where you're at, right? Like if you already have a big team, then leading by example makes sense, and being in the trenches and simplifying the system. If you have no team, simplifying the system is probably not as relevant because you need to go build the team that plugs into the system. Does that make sense? But simplifying that system. This is why sometimes I think people are like, wow, John talks a lot about the same things. Like a lot of his content is the same stuff. And listen, I have no problem with people that talk about they're like big time motivators and they tell lots of stories and they are always like, talking like big picture, and it's a lot of personal development. Like I love those speakers. I love the John Maxwell's and the Tony Robbins and the, those people that are like, big picture, they get really into your psyche. They get you to unlock your potential like no other. But with that being said, I'm big on strategy. I'm really big on strategy. And we wouldn't have what we have today if we didn't have the phenomenal team we have today. But we wouldn't have the team we have today if we didn't master these other things I'm sharing with you, and we didn't have that system for people to plug in to create that independence, to have the tools, the resources for growth with or without our involvement. So the system is super important. You want to get people focused on money-making activities to help them create results, to help them build up confidence, right? It could be just helping them do their first curiosity post, their first launch post, their first launch video. Maybe they interview you. Maybe you help them compose a post sharing their story. Maybe you tag them in some other launch video examples and unboxing videos so they can see what others have done. Showing them what's possible, showing them how simple it is. The more simple you keep it, the more likely it is that more people are going to win. And that's why we also love the ATM system, right? Add, tag, message, adding people into private groups, tagging them in videos, right? So freaking simple. Like if you can't build your business with the ATM system, like you can't build a business. You need a lot of personal development. You need to work on yourself, because I can't think of an easier thing. It's like, hey, someone says, yes, I'm open. Yeah, sure. I'm curious. You add them to a group, you tag them in a video, you tag them in a testimonial, you tag them in some information that answers their question. Remember, SYSTEM stands for save yourself, time, energy, and money. That's it. It is that simple.